What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for May 21st, 2023. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery, and good win for the Phillies yesterday. I have to say, they won 12-3. The Bats finally woke up. They put up a 6th spot in the first inning and kind of just cruised from there. They were actually knocking players in when they score or were on base. Schwarber hit the grand slam. Bryce went 2 for 3 with 2 walks. Maybe, just maybe, I feel like I've said this every time they've won a game and started a little winning streak, but maybe this time they're really going to turn it over because Nola actually looked good. He went 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks, ace-like stuff. You're on a losing streak. Your ace comes on the mound and shuts it down. My kids loved it. They absolutely had a blast. They made it through the whole 9 innings too, which was pretty impressive. And also too, just Citizens Bank Park, just sitting there because we had good seats thanks to my in-laws and just soaking it all in. That ballpark is absolutely beautiful, and it was the first time you really got to sit there and see it. And it was actually a pretty big crowd, 41,000. I haven't seen it like that in a while. That place is a lot of fun when it gets going. So hopefully they can keep going on a run because the summer is always better when the Phillies are on point. So good win though, 12-3. Looking to take the series this afternoon. Let's keep it rolling. Union won 3-0 over New England last night. That's 1 goal now for them they've allowed in the past 3 games, so they're really starting to turn it on. I know last year one of the keys to their run was their defense, so it looks like they're playing good defense, good goaltending. So let's keep that rolling. Now that I'm starting to get a little more into that, it's definitely fun. Quick Flyers, because I know everybody wants to do Flyers more, but just watching that Carolina game last night and seeing Rod Brind'Amour on the sideline, Gostisbehere, like it was kind of one of those things. It's like, man, like hockey is a lot of fun during the playoffs, so I'm hoping that the Flyers can get this turned around under Briere and Keith Jones and the new leadership team that they have in place. Last thing I'm going to do, I shouldn't say that. I probably will do more on it, but the Sixers. And it came up a lot yesterday after Jimmy Butler put the Heat up 2-0 on the Celtics. They chose Tobias Harris over me. And yes, that's the perception because that's where the big money went to that they could have paid for Jimmy Butler. But as we said, they didn't choose Tobias Harris over you, Jimmy. They chose Brett Brown and Ben Simmons. More specifically, Elton Brand, and it ties back to what we talked about the other day of Elton Brand getting off scot-free in the blame game. So just super annoying that he's recognizing that, and it's frustrating. But it is what it is. They're looking to go up 3-0 on the Celtics. So as much as it pains me to see Jimmy Butler maybe win one when he should be playing with us, I would love to see the Celtics get knocked out. I'd love to see them get swept. And yeah, I'm a hater. So what? All right, but today we're going to go back to 1996. And on this day, May 21st, 1996, Phillies beat the Padres 5-4. Pete Incaviglia hit a home run in the 5th inning that ultimately proved to be the difference. Terry Mulholland went 6 2/3 innings to get the win. Ricky Bottalico, yes, our man Ricky Bo, got the save. But the key part of this story is Terry Mulholland entered the game with the 3rd lowest batting average in Major League Baseball history with a minimum of 400 at-bats. And just thinking back, I forgot how bad he was as a hitter back before the designated hitter obviously was in place. But he had a home run in the 2nd that went 407 feet, which is absolutely insane. It was only one of 69 hits he had, 2 of them being home runs in his 20-year Major League career. The first one he hit the year before, which was a 437-foot bomb. Terry Mulholland did have the quote of the night, though. After the game, he was interviewed, and he said, well, most great hitters don't hit for a high average. Kind of having fun with himself. But again, I mean, the man was focused more on pitching than hitting. But to have the 4th lowest batting average of all time, That's or third, whatever it was. That's a pretty big accomplishment, I would think. But on this day, back in 1996, Phils beat the Padres 5-4. Terry Mulholland and Pete Incaviglia, both with home runs to lead the way for the Phils. All right, Sixers playoff preview. We're going to go back to 1989, 1990. The Sixers that year were coached by Jim Lynam. They actually took first in the Atlantic Division and the number 2 seed in the conference with a 53-29 record. Charles Barkley led the way with 25.2 points per game and 11.5 rebounds. Johnny Dawkins led the way with 7.4 assists. Barkley was the Sixers represented the Sixers in the All-Star game. They had signed Rick Mahorn that year. He was All-NBA, second-team All-Defense. Took him from the Pistons teams. Hersey Hawkins was on that team. Obviously, Rick Mahorn, Mike Jaminski. Still, this is pre-injury Mike Jaminski. They went in, beat the Cavs in the first round, 3-2. Pretty good Cavs team. And then lost to the Bulls in the Eastern Conference semifinals, who the Bulls were just starting to really get good. And they had their eyes set on the Detroit Pistons and Michael Jordan getting over that. But they were still 1 year away. And this was sort of the peak then of the post-Dr. J, Charles Barkley era Sixers. They were at a crossroads after this season trying to figure out, because they were a good team, but then you had the Bulls, who were ready to become the great team. You had the Pistons, who were the great team. They would go on to win the championship this year. You had Cleveland, who was good. Milwaukee wasn't bad at this time. The Knicks were starting to come up with Patrick Ewing. The Celtics were kind of going down, but they were at a crossroads where kind of not too far off from where we are now with that purgatory, where their ceiling is there and they need to kind of bust through that ceiling. More on what the Sixers did after that coming up later this month. I'll give you a spoiler alert. It wasn't good. But hopefully this will be different. I don't know. Hopefully if they do decide to trade Joe, they get more than Jeff Hornacek and I forget who. Tim Perry, I think, was in the trade. Temple's own. I do like Tim Perry, but at that point, what they got for Barkley, hopefully you can get more and better, or set yourself up, because basically once they traded Barkley during this time, it set the franchise back, but obviously they had to do it. But the 89-90 Sixers won the division, bowed out to Michael Jordan in the Eastern Conference semifinals that year. On this day back in 1996, Terry Mulholland led the Phils past the Padres, hitting a home run and going 6 2/3 innings. Phils today are looking to take the series versus the Cubs. We will be tuning in here. Union with another good win. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Be sure to go check out phillygoat.com for all of your sports apparel need. They have some great Philly stuff, Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, just neighborhood Philly stuff. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery at checkout for 10% off of your order. It's going to be a beautiful day here in the Philadelphia area, people. Go out and enjoy it. So go have a Sunday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.